So actually, there's one question that I think I should have asked at the beginning of the show, but I kind of had to wait a little. I wanted to wait because I want the audience to see for themselves how fluent your English is. Because like I mentioned before, we all know Winarat can speak English, but she doesn't speak English a whole lot for a long period of time for us to appreciate. But on this show, you get to talk to me in English. So, the obvious question, how did your English get this good?
Okay, first of all, thank you for giving me this chance for the interview because I get to practice my English as well. And ขอบคุณค่ะที่ชมนะคะ I'm not that fluent. I still have a lot to learn. So I learned English basically through international school. I went to a Thai school until primary 4, ป .4.
I see.
And then I switched to an international school until I finished high school, ม .6.
Okay.
And then I went into a Thai university, not international program, a normal Thai program.
Okay.
And then after that, I went abroad for my master's. So in the end, I know Thai a little and English a bit.
Not a little and a bit. I think you know a lot about Thai and English well enough for you to have a career based on using both languages. So, in Thai school at the beginning, and then another 8 years in the international school, and 4 years in Thai college, and then you went on to get your master's in the United States?
Yes, in the US.
Okay, in what university? And let's talk a little bit about how your life there was like.
Oh, I went to the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University. It is in Boston. I've never seen so much snow in my life. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy to be there.
And you were like a Fulbright scholar student too, right?
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate. I'll
Was
be
it
forever
tough to
grateful.
get this a scholarship?
For me, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was because we need to focus on the personal statement, really crafting it out.
Right.
You really have to think what to write in order for the judges to spot you and want to meet you.
How long
right?
did it take you to finish the whole thing?
It took quite a long time. I wrote the personal statement. I don't like it. I threw it in the garbage. I wrote again. I threw it away again, again and again and again and again. And then I asked some of my professors to please review it for me. Yeah, I think that's one portion of it. Another portion is a good GPA. So I knew since the very beginning that I need a good GPA if I want to apply for any scholarships. And if I want to go abroad, I need to get a scholarship. I didn't come from a wealthy family. So since my university years, I've been trying my best to get good grades because I know that's one prerequisite to apply for any scholarships at all.
So one thing for that you had to plan in advance. You need to know from the very beginning that this is what you want to get, right?
Exactly, and work towards it. Some of my friends, they're just so bright and sharp. Whatever the ajans taught or the books that we have to read, they read it once, they listened to all the ajans once, and they got it. Not me.
Okay.
Their brains are like sports cars. Mine is just an average passenger car.
Okay.
So what I did was I compensated with diligence, with discipline. Meaning I would read that book or whatever the assignment is over and over again until I get it. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times until I get it. Yeah, so I have to compensate.
Yeah, so it's very normal to have like shortcomings in many areas, but you have to make up for it if you have a goal.
Exactly. And I wanted scholarships so bad, especially the Fulbright scholarship because it's a non-binding scholarship. It's a prestigious scholarship and I get to go to the US.
Yeah.
So in the end, I got it. I was so happy. And every time I look back at it, I always see the Fulbright scholarship as a reward for my diligence and hard work.
And so how many years did you spend in the US?
2 years.
2 years.
Two
Only 2
fun
years.
years. 2 years for my master's. Two fun
Okay.
years. Yeah.
All right. I kind of imagine that your English, was it like going on and off depending on where you were at the moment? Like when you were back in Thai school, it's like maybe not so fluent. And then when you were back to like international study again, it kind of got better. Was it like that?
Exactly. Whichever language that I use more, I would become more fluent in that language automatically. And I think that's just so natural, right? If we speak more in English, then our English would get better. And then if we speak more of Thai, then our Thai would get better.
Yeah.
It's just so natural. Yeah. So if I want to be truly bilingual, then I would have to practice both, balance both. Sometimes I feel that my English is dropping. I didn't have a chance to talk like that. So sometimes I'll talk to myself. I'll talk to myself in front of the mirror. I read books out loud, or yes, I'll just reading. Yeah. At least, my eyes would come into contact with that language.
Yeah. So immersive, as they say, like try to surround yourself and do things in your target language that you want to get better of.
Watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Sometimes, too much Korean series. Let's switch back to some English-speaking series just for the purpose of listening to another language.
Yeah, familiarizing your listening to the language.
Yes.
Wow. So a lot of people says that in order to do something well, you need to have passion. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that. If you have passion, then passion will motivate you to work hard towards your goal. Antoni Gaudi, a world-famous architect who designed the avant-garde church in Barcelona, Spain, La Sagrada Familia, he said, "Para hacer las cosas bien es necesario, primero, el amor. Segundo, la técnica. To do things right, first, you need love, then technique." So love is passion.
Right.
If you have that love will take you along this journey in acquiring language skills or whatever skills that you seek for. So I think it's very important if you have passion, especially in learning another language, because learning another language is not a sprint. In fact, it's not a marathon.
I was about to say.
It's an ultra marathon.
Even longer.
It's a live learning process.
But I also heard a lot of people say that they don't have passion for language. But what they're trying to do right now, it comes from necessity. Because they also know that even though they don't have the love for the language, but the language would help them advance in their career. So do you think it's okay that people start doing things out of necessity, which might make them suffer a little bit instead of like, oh, I love language so much, so I'm willing to work on this 24/7.
Even out of necessity, then you're forced to do it, right?
Okay.
Then I think you need to have the mentality that I will do this and jump right into it. I'll give you another example then. The legendary Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. His first language is English. And then when he entered politics, he wanted to speak Chinese Mandarin to the Chinese population in Singapore. So he picked up Mandarin in his later years in life, in his 30s.
Wow.
So he was learning another language when he was building a nation as well.
Okay.
So what excuse do I have to not try my best in learning another language or another skills?
Right.
Yeah, so he's a very exceptional example. I understand that he is of exceptional intellect and personality, but I always look up to him as my inspiration to do better, even a little bit more better.
Maybe not at his level, but that kind of inspires you to go the same path as he did. Maybe that would get you started a little, right?
Yes, out of necessity or out of passion. Like Jack Ma,
Yeah.
he bicycled for so many kilometers just to get to talk to tourists so that he can practice his English. But now it's all so easy at your fingertips, your
Yeah.
mobile phones, your smartphones. You can just Google for people who teach different languages, and sometimes it's all free too.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
totally up to you whether or not you want to jump into it.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be like something cheery and happy all the time. It could be a different energy when you feel like you're forced to do something well. But as long as you have a big goal that you want to be great, that you want to be someone who's a rising star in your business or your industry, so that could give you a huge like boost in confidence or in passion itself. So passion can be built.
I think even if you're forced to learn another language, once you learn a little bit about it and you know it a little bit, you can read something a little bit, you understand what you hear a little bit, I think you would feel proud of yourself and you will feel motivated to learn even more now.
Yeah.
And maybe that necessity will somehow slowly turn into passion and then you'll improve immensely.
That's a great philosophy. I really love it. Is there anything at all in your life right now that you try to learn and maybe at the same time applying that same philosophy to?
I am trying to get back my Spanish.
Oh,
I learned it about 20 years ago. I forgot all about it. But recently,
because you didn't get to use it.
I didn't get to use it.
I
See,
see.
language you need to use, right?
Right.
But recently, I felt that I don't want to lose it. So I'm trying to retrieve some of those memories back. So if I can learn one word more, then I would feel happy already. Okay, this is all out of passion, not necessity at all.
Okay.
But whenever I have to do something like that, that I feel this is tiring. It's tiring.
Yeah.
It's frustrating sometimes, right? I always tell myself two things: Adidas and Nike.
What? Like shoes?
Adidas, one of its slogan is impossible is nothing.
All right.
That's the mentality that I want to have.
Okay.
And then Nike, just do it.
True.
Just do it. Don't hesitate. Just jump into it and give it a shot.